Okay, YouTube, maybe you guys can help me out. Is there a better fence setup for this Dewalt saw? I've been looking, I'm not finding much. It's a Dewalt 7491. I've only had the saw a little while. I bought it to replace my old Sears unit where the plastic base disintegrated and fell apart, degraded, and seen quite a bit of abuse over the years. But it was a pretty good little saw. Now the problem I'm having is the track locks up nice. There's not a lot of play in the track on either side. Locks up tight. The big problem I'm having is this fence does not lock up. It just kind of floats on the rail here. It's got these little things that go in and out that will hold this to the rack and this groove, but it doesn't really lock up the fence, so I'm getting a lot of deflection and I'm just not getting decent cuts, and it's driving me nuts. I'm not looking for, you know, 5/10,000ths of an inch or even a thousandth of an inch. But I'm getting cuts that are just not good and not square, and it's because of this lousy fence setup. So basically what's happening is when I'm cutting the wood, when you go to feed it, it's deflecting. I mean, it doesn't take much for it to move, you know. Like I said, there's nothing to keep the fence from moving back and forth. Also, there's nothing to keep the fence from leaning away from the blade. This fence just does not lock down. My old saw, when you lock the fence down, it pulled down, you know, fairly tight to the tabletop, and it didn't move around. I mean, I got all this slop, and I didn't really notice it when I bought the saw, and I bought the saw used. So, other than bolting this thing directly to the rail, the guide, you know, bolting it to this somehow, but this is just cheap plastic. So I think this is where this saw kind of falls on its face for me. I just think it could be better, even though it's a job site box and it's meant for the finish guys. I mean, the framing guys. It just, I don't know, just could be better. I just don't like this fence, and I was wondering if anybody out there has any ideas. I could probably replace this setup here on the side somehow. I just don't know how to go about doing that or where to even look for a better fence system that can bolt to this top without costing a fortune. Might be better off just finding another saw. It's just something I missed when I bought it. I didn't really notice it until I started using it. I started getting funny cuts. So basically what's happening is if I go to make a small cut, put the no clearance plate in there. When I'm cutting the small pieces, I was cutting some bigger pieces the other day. Made a quick jig, and that works really good. I can get a decent cut with that for what I'm trying to do. But so what's happening is when I cut this, my fence seems to be deflecting away from the blade, and I end up with a crooked cut along this face, along the blade face. And it's just enough to make what I'm doing, and I'm not doing any cabinetry work or anything. I'm just making random little knickknacks. But it's making just bad enough cuts that it's disappointing. I didn't have this problem with my old Craftsman saw, and not for nothing, that was a $110 saw. Also, and things you notice after you buy things, it's not easy to put an outfeed table on this thing. So this whole contraption gets in the way. You know, there's nothing to lock this mess in. It just flops around. It's annoying. Other than that, you know, it's been a pretty good saw. I don't like using this mini fence like this because you got no support this way. You know, so I mean, for these small pieces like this, if you're doing, you know, 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch, maybe it's okay. I mean, that was Dewalt's solution when I sent them an email. But, you know, it's no good for the bigger pieces. So if you guys get any ideas on how to make this fence better, or if there's a aftermarket fence to put on it, why don't you post some remarks. Thank you.